Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome to the Gun Shop. I'm Niels Hansen. I'm going to be talking about Skyrim and the recent problems. Not recent, but the release date problems and ongoing problems with the severe input lag, or just lag basically, gameplay lag on the PS3. And it's still not resolved and they're still working on it. But there's articles going all over the place and you know, a lot of gamers are freaking out. Even ones that haven't bought the game, you know what I mean? Of course, because we love sharing our opinions, don't we? But there's a lot of lag, and they're saying that because there's so many quests going on, you know, you have all these things happening on one side of this huge, beautiful Skyrim world, which is incredibly detailed, and these things are going on, and you go across to the other side of the world and start new things, and all these things are going on in the background. The system is trying to compute everything, and it ends up creating this amazing amount of lag that, you know, as they describe it, as being unbearable. And the problem that a lot of people are freaking out about is that Bethesda actually knew that the issues existed and released the game. They said, "Oh no, we'll be able to patch them," and then they tried to patch them, and it didn't work. The issues were ongoing. So we get into this argument, and I've seen this, and heck, I've even said this before, but I'm actually going to try and be a little more sympathetic here. The fact is, why would these companies, why are these developers releasing games? We've seen this with, you know, Call of Duty. Like, remember Black Ops, when Black Ops came out. Granted, they did fix it. But they had to have known that there was going to be some issues because it was so bad on the PS3, the Wii, and the PC. It was unplayable in the first, you know, few weeks. It was really bad on the PS3. It was okay on the Xbox. I wouldn't say it's going to be amazing, but you know, these companies, these developers are pushing these products out on set dates. You know what I mean? They're saying, "Oh, there it is," knowing that there's problems and still selling it, taking your money for it. I usually have a big problem with that, and I'm not saying that I don't, because you know, you're selling a product that doesn't even work. I mean, gone are the days, back in my day, when you bought something like a Nintendo, or an original Nintendo Entertainment System cartridge, when you bought Zelda, that game was complete. There was no post-patching. You couldn't. There was no connectivity. There was no, you know, like, online support for a Nintendo game, and you couldn't patch it. No internal, well, there was a bit of internal memory, but, you know, it was a cartridge. When those games went out, they were, I shouldn't say perfect, but near perfect. Everything was tested out the wazoo. They took the time to do that. Nintendo took the time, and other developers as well, on the Sega, Genesis, and all that sort of stuff. There was no patching. This is the way it was. And nowadays it seems like they're like, "Ah, whatever, we'll patch it later. Let's send it out there." But here's the thing. I can't fully blame these companies, Bethesda, DICE, or whoever it is that's putting out these games with these issues, and whether it's Call of Duty as well. Because there's a lot of pressure. It's not from the developers, it's from the publishers. A lot of times the publishers are like, "Listen, I'm going to back it, I'm going to market it. You need to have that game done by this time." And games like Skyrim, so much resources are put into it. Millions and millions of dollars of development costs, marketing, everything has been put into it. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place, as the cliche goes there. They have to do that. They have to release it. They're going to need money for that developing studio in order to make the patches, in order to get the fixes. Put it this way, if they didn't do that, if they didn't release the PS3 version of Skyrim, they'd still not have the game perfect. If they were waiting for the perfect release and this, you know, all lag-free and everything like that, it still wouldn't be out, because they still haven't figured out the problem and it's still not there. Whereas they release it, the money comes in. I know it's not necessarily the right thing, but the money comes in for them to actually be able to have enough capital in order to do that. And you've got to remember, there's a difference between the publisher. Like, even though you're thinking, you know, these companies under the big giant corporations like EA and Activision, it's a revenue kind of share model. Companies, the developers, still go bankrupt all the time. We see it happen again and again, even with the smaller companies that are under the protection of companies like Activision or EA. EA and Activision will shut those companies down if they're not lucrative enough. They have to be cognizant of this. From our perspective, it's about gaming. Oh, you're taking our money and that's it and everything like that. But sometimes when these, you know, perceivably shady things happen, it's a way that these companies, the developers, actually stay afloat. Because if they don't, they end up getting they get shut down, and we never get these amazing games again. So as much as the problem is with this PS3 lag with Skyrim, you know, you've got to be hopeful. And Generally, I am. I've yet to see like major issues like this ongoing forever. I mean, they will find it. It's a matter of finding that needle in a haystack. Sometimes it does take a little bit longer to find it, but they usually do. So I'm just saying, like, sometimes you got to cut them a little bit of slack. They have that pressure to survive. I'm not talking about the big, when you're thinking about the big greedy developers and everything like that, and I'm not pinning this on and saying that they are greedy all the time necessarily. I'm just saying normally it's the publishers. It's the ones marketing it. It's the big ones, because they always generally can weather the storm. They got way deeper pockets than the developers. So cut your developers a little bit of slack. Bethesda with Skyrim, they had a time limit. They had to get it out there, even though they knew there was a problem with the PS3 and it's still not fixed. They are obviously dedicated to pushing this forward. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Normally I would harp on them and point my finger at them and shout, you're bad, evil, greedy, but I love games, and I don't want to see the little guys getting friggin' snuffed out because of issues like this, because of the pressures that they face. We've got to be a little bit more understanding as well. Not really fair, when you're shelling out the cash, but these companies, as many millions as you think they're making, sometimes they get shut down because it costs millions and millions to develop. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, that's it. PS3 issue for Skyrim, still not there, but they are, I guarantee you, they're frantically looking for it. And, it doesn't affect everyone. Not everyone's affected by it, but for those that are, just have some faith that they're going to do it. They're not going to let it go. They're not going to say, oh, well, we tried and that's it. They will continue to work for it. They will find a fix. You just got to hang in there. Anyway, that's it. Leave your comments below. I want to know whether or not you think it's fair. Is it fair that they release them? Like, do you have an understanding, like, you know what? It's okay to release a certain amount of issues because we know you got pressure, or should they be saying, I'm not going to release it? You know what I mean? There's this thing where like, oh, they're dedicated to releasing a perfect product, but sometimes I think that's a little bit misleading and not necessarily fair on the developers, but that's my opinion. What's your opinion? Do you think that's fair? Do you think it's fair that they do that, or should they absolutely wait until it's a perfect product before they take your money on the market? That's it. If you like the video, remember to hit the like button, or just rate the video. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to change you. I'm just saying if you do like it, then hit the like. I'm not saying hit the like button. I'm not telling you to do anything. Leave a comment below. And if you haven't done so already, please do follow me on Twitter. I also have a new gameplay. I'm going to be releasing a video, kind of I guess a trailer or a teaser, because people are a little confused as to what I'm going to be showing on the You Always Win gaming channel, my new channel since I've left NGT Next Gen Tactics. And it's not going to be all Minecraft. As a matter of fact, Gamers Abroad is coming back, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever. So if those of you that actually like Gamers Abroad, you're going to want to stay tuned, and you're going to want to subscribe to You Always Win, because I promise, I'm so excited about doing this. I know, I shouldn't even be rambling. Anyway, that's it. It's going to be coming out soon. I'm going to put a trailer on it. I'm sorry, that's it. Shameless plug, but it's a plug of my own stuff. What do you want? You're on my channel. Peace.